Hi, and welcome to another episode. Before I start today's daily rant, and geez, have I got a rant for you? I just want to say that these are my thoughts and opinions and how I see things that are playing out at the moment. And quite frankly, I'm really pissed. And that's why I haven't recorded for the last few days, because I've been really annoyed when I've kind of pieced things together in my mind and wanting to come on and record. I have to be very careful what I say, I guess, because everything that's unfolding. Now, some weeks ago, probably a few months ago, I did a video on me saying that Harry, in my opinion, was on an A1 visa. Now, I got hammered in the comments from it. I don't know what I'm talking about, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. You know, if anyone's going to come on YouTube and say their thoughts and opinions, you're going to have to cop some flack in the comments. And I've got broad shoulders, I can take it. It's not the fact of being right or wrong. It's the fact that looking at things through, in a different way, let's just put it that way, and doing a little bit of homework and research. Now, there was one particular YouTuber who, obviously I'm not going to name, that went on a rant going, well, if he was on an A1 visa, he would have, security cars around him all the time. He would be in cars with government plates, etc., etc. What? Yes, maybe. If he was meant to be on an A1 visa, if he was someone that was meant to be in government official vehicles. Now, if you think about it, the good old booger sugar story that's been going around about him and his, so-called admission to drug taking, etc., which he said himself in his own words, Harry, that he used particular substances. Now, that story about him, his visa being revoked because of that is, again, mainstream media bullshit. Because that's the narrative they want everyone to believe, that if his visa's taken away, it's because of so-called drug abuse. Now, that's to steer away from the fact that he's on an A1 visa and the Americans and the British people are paying for that, for his security over there. You see what I mean? They want to steer you in one direction, saying, oh, we're just going to see if his visa is going to be revoked because of drug abuse, etc., if he lied in his application. That's what they want you to believe, so you don't sniff out everything else. Mainstream media is crap. Now, let me just put something else out there. A 17-year-old boy that tried to assassinate Trump. 17. Think about that, 17. Why would a 17-year-old hate Trump? Why would a 17-year-old research the royal family and have someone else from the royal family in his sights? Could you be that distraught mentally at 17? Now, like I said in the beginning of this video, I'm going to be very careful about what I say. So you're kind of going to have to fill in the blanks, because obviously we don't want to get into any kind of strife here, do we? Because there's a lot of censorship going on. A 17-year-old. Now, Trump has made it very clear that if he gets elected, he's going to get rid of Harry first on his list. Okay? Think about that for a second. Then we have all these riots happening in the UK. Again, the person that murdered those beautiful children was an underage person, a very young person. 18-year-old, I think. I may be wrong. But young. Why would a person of that age want to cause such harm. I don't know about you guys, but in the world I live in, and I have a lot of people around me all the time, work, this, that, and the other, know a lot of people. We don't practice racism. None of them do. We come from all different walks of lives. I've not seen any racism where I am. I speak to a lot of people from the UK. They haven't seen racism like it's supposedly out there now. Think about that. Just think about that for a minute. Think about the fact that all of a sudden they're releasing hard criminals from prison in the UK to put people in prison for Facebook posts, and X or Twitter or whatever it calls itself these days, for stuff like that. Really? Hardened criminals out on the street? Yeah, if you post something, you're going to serve prison. I watched a case last week where the judge said, this is so terrible that you have to be in prison straight away. And it was about a Facebook post. Yeah, if you're a pedo or someone that does a more serious crime, you are out there until you go to court, and that could be 2 years' time. Think about that. Who is actually steering these riots? Who is steering this censorship? Please think about that. Who is steering this racism? Who wants to silence people? Wasn't it Harry that in 2021, I believe, begged his father to only put positive things out there about Meghan in the media? Wanted to silence the media or anything negative about her. Now, we all know why that happened, didn't we? Because something fell between her knees. 2021, or was it 2019? One of those years. The Queen wouldn't have anything to do with silencing the media. She wanted a free press. There's a lot of dodgy shit going on. A lot of dodgy shit. Now they're putting out stories about taking Prince Andrew's security away. He lives on grounds where he has security all the time. It's just another story. It's just another story to anger people. For people to go, why is he doing that to him and not sorting out Harry? Why is Harry over there on an A1 visa? Think about that one. What is going on here? There's censorship, people being put in prison for Facebook posts, riots over supposedly racism. But when you see these riots, they don't even know what they're rioting for. First, it was peaceful protests for those darling children. But then it went pear-shaped. Who's sending out the people to cause the pear-shapedness, if you know what I mean? The ones that turn everything into violence. So they have a stance on making a stance. By that, I mean putting people in prison for such a petty little crime of putting a post up on Facebook. Digital ID. Cashless society. Making everyone get shots, or you lose your job. You lose your income. You lose the ability to feed your family. Lots of crap's going on, isn't it? Lots of crap. I think you can all read between the lines. Racism really wasn't a big topic until a certain someone kept going, the UK's racist, the UK's racist. And then look what happened. on the streets. Kind of interesting that a certain someone, Harry, or what you say in a post, or what you say online, quickly ends up in the streets. And then there were riots. Am I blaming him for him? No. I'm just putting my opinion out there. What's going on? They're already starting to censorship everybody. Harry wanted to get rid of the First Amendment. The first thing he said, didn't he say it was bonkers? In his words. All his wife's lies, and I've counted close to 100 that I can think of, which I'll do a series of that quite soon, that are their lies that have come out their own mouth. Think about how they, in the beginning, and I've always said this woman is a plant. Piece that together. Just piece that together, please. They couldn't even get their story straight on how they met. You think about how you met your husband or wife or your partner in whatever relationship you're in. You remember that time. You remember it. You remember what someone was wearing, and you both remember it because it was the most loving, beautiful time in your life. You don't get your stories wrong. You do not get your stories wrong on how you met. They have lied from day one. She was on a mission from day one. She planted Oprah at that wedding knowing damn well she was going to get an interview. Planned from day one. Planned before the ring came in. I said that she said she was pregnant to marry him and then staged a miscarriage. I'm pretty sure it was the night before the wedding. Interesting, isn't it? Here we have a woman that has done nothing but cause trouble in the UK. She's divided the UK. They have a Sussex squad. So what? Yes, they're vile, but if you think about it, go on her Instagram, 600 and something thousand people on there. There's nearly 8 billion people in the world. Half of those people, or more than half of those people on that Instagram that she has, are bots that she's paid for. So if you do the math with nearly 8 billion people in the world and who actually are on her Instagram, she is very, very, very unliked. This woman thought she was going to get millions of followers on Instagram. This woman is poison, in my opinion. And Harry is the one that is going against the UK. He wants to abolish the UK. He wants to abolish the royal family. He has done nothing for the country that has supported him for all his life. Nothing for the country his mother loved, for the royal family that his mother loved. He has done nothing but drag them down and put them down. He will not return to the UK because he fears for his life. Unarmed people in the UK, a beautiful country, a country he was born and raised in. What is he saying? He lives in a country that people have guns at, they have guns in their homes. They're armed people. He goes to a country that is known for drugs and kidnappings and everything else. He's totally ignored. They go on about being full of love and joy and blah, blah, blah. But yet, African parks, let's just forget about what's happening over there. You really got to read between the lines here because there's a bigger picture happening. And everybody's being played for a fool. Harry may have children. Does Meghan? In my opinion, no. She never birthed a child. No. Sorry. That's my opinion. And Harry, you can go shove that right up your ass because it's my opinion. You can think that no one else can have an opinion but you, but other people have opinions and they're entitled to them. There's a bigger agenda here, and I'm not one to put a tinfoil hat on, blah, blah, blah. But when you really think about things, who's America aligned with? What's happening right now in a certain country? Think about that. There's a bigger picture here. Obviously, we have to dance around what we really want to say. But I'm sure you guys are smart enough and switched on enough to get where I'm going with this. It's very disappointing. All the fluff pieces to divert your energy, to divert your thinking. Let's just think over here. Why has she got boobs one minute, not the next? Why does she wear these dresses with pokey things in her breast area like, I don't know who she's trying to be, Madonna back in the 80s or 90s. Oh, look, she's showing her shoulders again. Why are they really there? Yeah, it's money, they're getting paid for it, but why are they really there? What is really going on here? The fact of the matter that I cannot get out of my head is these two young people that have committed horrendous crimes and have started an influx of, as you can see, violence, censorship. I guess that's all I have to say for now. I feel we're all being played. I feel like we're all being played like a fiddle. You know, people go on and on about how the king won't do anything. I get that. I hear that. I feel that. Why can't he do anything? Who's the one that keeps re-signing Harry's A1 visa? It has to be renewed yearly. Why is his visa now under secrecy? Maybe they don't want that getting out there, do they? Maybe they don't want the people of America and the UK knowing that they're paying for these two clowns to make a fool of the royal family. You know what's really sad here? My heart literally breaks for the late Queen. Everything that woman did for her country, for her people. She spent her life serving her people. Her whole life to the day she passed. Literally to the day she passed. She served for her people of Britain. She was so respected. And in the last 6 years, all we have seen is disrespect, no loyalty, disgust, shame. Have you ever in your living years seen a former royal, because that's how I see him, throw your family under the bus like he has? It's like a switch flicked in his head. And he turned against the people he loved the most. His brother he adored. His nephews, his niece, his sister-in-law, his whole family, his father. He even liked Camilla. But all of a sudden they're devilish to him. They're evil to him. He's out of this terrible place where he lived. God forbid, living in a palace with everyone doing anything for you, never had to pay a bill in your life. What a terrible life, Harry. There's a bigger agenda here, people. And unfortunately, you're going to see it play out in the coming weeks and months. You've already seen it played out. You've already seen some of it play out. It's disgusting, isn't it? Absolutely disgusting. I feel for the people of the US and Britain. They don't deserve these two. They don't deserve the horrendous crap these two have done. Now, people say, and I've said it as well, Harry looked very uncomfortable on this last trip. Maybe he knows that people know exactly what they're up to now. Maybe he knows that he's never going to be liked or loved again by the people. And nor should he, for what he's done, for what he's allowed for her to do to the people of Britain. And even the people of the US, because it's not what Americans are like. She seems to think that she represents Americans. No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. She spent her whole life trying to delete and rearrange her looks to become white. And oh, gee, she loved playing that black card, didn't she? She loved throwing in the old racist trick, didn't she? When racism really was getting abolished. Wasn't it? It was getting erased from people's minds. People mix with all kinds of people. You don't get into a taxi and they go, oh no, you're white, I'm not taking you. You don't go to the supermarket and go through the checkout and they go, oh God, you're black, no, I'm not serving you. No, none of that. But old Megsy comes along. Let's divide the world, hey? Let's try sneak our way into politics and take a British prince along for the ride. Let's cause mayhem in Britain. Let's prove a point. Let's prove a point that UK is dangerous because look at what's happening over there. Let's prove that point. They're disgusting. Disgusting is actually a nice word for them. I vowed when I started this channel, because I'm a bit of a potty mouth, that I won't swear a lot on this channel. I'll try to keep it clean. And I'm trying very hard not to call them what I really want to call them. They are awful people. Absolutely horrid. And it's only going to get worse. By the way, wasn't Archie meant to start school? Like I said in another video? Homeschooled, is he? Of course he is, because God forbid that child ever sees the sunlight. And she talks about being a mother. I have nothing against people that have to have surrogate children. Nothing against that, you know. However children come into the world, they're quite welcome. You know, it's a blessing. She doesn't know what it really feels like to be a mother, and how dare she try and tell the world how to live their lives and how they should act and not act when she wants to live her life in joy now. It's her joyful years. What about her father's joyful years? Oh no, let's just say, you know, praise her mother. You know, the mother that was in jail, allegedly. You know, the mother that gave her up. You know, the mother, she didn't want her to pick her up from school because she didn't want people to think, you know, that was her mum. That she would have to tell them that it was the maid because she was too ashamed. Why would you be ashamed of being black or part black? Why would you be ashamed of that? Why would anyone be ashamed of who they are? Why? Because she's a fat user. That's why. She's a flat out user, and she will tread on anyone to get to where she wants to go. You climb that ladder, sweetheart. Climb it all you like. Because the higher you go, the harder the fall. Anyhow, Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Stay safe. Keep smiling. Bye for now.